How can beginners develop a strategic mindset in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to outthink and outmaneuver opponents on the mat?
If you want to develop a strategic mindset on the mats to outthink and outmaneuver your opponents, you need to start small and simple. In my opinion, there are two ways to ultimately succeed in a match of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You can win, let's say, a competition match with points, but I'm talking about truly succeed in a training room environment. And obviously the ultimate goal is to learn and get better. And if you just learn a little bit, you're improving. But realistically, when you're slapping your hands, you're bumping your fists, and you're sparring with somebody, you want to get them to give up. You want to get them to tap. If it's like an open roll situation, generally that's how you would measure your success, is if you are able to get closer to a submission on somebody. And there are two ways to do that. You can trick them, which in my opinion is a more strategic way to do it, but not always possible. Or you can force them, dominate them, impose your will upon them, which in my opinion is super dang cool, but also difficult in different ways. If you want to be able to strategically maneuver around people, I think you actually need to be able to do both of these things in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. In order to trick people, you oftentimes can do it if you learn a technique that they're not aware of. Take the baseball bat choke, for example. You can get a certain cross-collar type grip on somebody. There's a no-gi variation as well, but you can get the cross-collar type grip on somebody, sort of let them pass your guard, but as you do it, you turn, twist, and apply, and then they have to submit or fall asleep. And if they're not aware of it and you trick them, well, you've strategically outplayed them. But after you've done that once, they're aware of that move. Maybe you can get away with it a handful of times. If you don't explain it to them, you just keep hitting on them. But eventually they're going to become wise to it. So when that happens, what do? Well, you can learn another move, but you're eventually going to run out of moves to learn. Yes, there are lots and lots of moves in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but realistically, learning a new move every single time you have to tap out your training partner is going to be unsustainable and unrealistic. So you can have those techniques that are a little bit sneakier or a little bit trickier, but you have to learn to apply them in combinations. So if you are setting up a choke, for example, you can strategically outmaneuver your opponent by not letting them focus on the choke at all. So if your grips require a cross-collar grip, for example, it would be very unstrategic of you to place your hand here and try to place your hand here and just go like this. Because in between going here and here, they're going to start to fight with their hands, they're going to move their neck, they're going to adjust, they're going to back out if they know what they're doing. So instead of doing that, I recommend setting up maybe your first grip, but then immediately shifting your focus onto something else. Maybe you get your cross-collar grip, but immediately put your foot on their hip or knee and push it out and try to make them fall over, try to sweep them. And that will take their focus away from it. And then if you still have your first grip, but you sweep them another way, and you sweep them the first way, and then you get your grip as you're sweeping them the first way, and then you apply your choke, well, then they probably didn't see it coming. Even if they knew the cross-collar choke, they're focused on something else. If you can take their attention and put it elsewhere while you're applying the submission, you're going to see outsized results. Even if they're aware of it, they don't see it coming because they're focused on other things. You can strategically outmaneuver your opponents. Now, it is less maybe strategic to get to a dominant position to where you can still get the submission even if they know it's coming. For example, if you get someone in mount, it is entirely possible to get them in mount, to hand fight them to where you get this cross collar, you move their head to the other side, you get the cross collar, and you apply the choke. And you can tell them, I'm going to cross collar you. Take Roger Gracie, for example. This was his strategy. They knew it was coming, but he still did it anyways. And you can do this to a smaller degree in training by getting a position, very, very slowly getting the submission. If you want to take it to another level, tell someone, hey, I'm going for this submission, and then still try to get it. And if you're better than them, or you've got a good submission and you're in a good position, maybe you can still get it. But doing that will build up a base of skill that will help you later on. If you have the ability to finish somebody without them being able to stop you, even if they know it's coming, you're going to have those finishing mechanics in place for when you strategically outmaneuver them, when you distract their attention and then apply. So if you have those really crushing black hole type finishing mechanics where they're going to fall asleep or their arm is definitely going to break if they don't tap. Now, you don't hurt people, don't sleep them, don't break their arms, right? Obviously stop if you know, but they're going to tap, right? That's how jiu-jitsu works. And if you can get those submissions, those finishing mechanics down to where you know you can put somebody to sleep if you have to, or you know you're going to get this arm bar or this leg lock or whatever it may be, then when it comes time to trick them, you're going to have it in the back of your pocket, in the back of your mind, that you know you can get this. So going down both routes for trying to get submissions will ultimately make you more strategic because you have that confidence you can rely on your finishing mechanics. But if you're able to outmaneuver them by moving their attention elsewhere while you're on the side setting up your submission attempt, or maybe it's a sweep attempt, you could advance position. But if you distract their attention while you're setting up your true goal, that's how you're going to outmaneuver them. And if you are more confident in your ability to finish your true goal because you have told people, I'm going to triangle you, and then you triangle them, then it's going to be much easier if they don't even see it coming and then you triangle them. So that's how you can outmaneuver people as a beginner person in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.